Now, just like I was saying with Vinicius, I'm going to say the same for Rodrygo. He is not going anywhere. Anybody that wants Rodrygo sold, you are out of your mind. This guy is so underrated. This entire season, I've been defending him, right? And I know that he didn't play the best, but it would be a huge mistake if we let him go. They're saying that he has offers from PSG and Man City. But of course he wants to stay at the club because he's an important player. It's not like Rodrygo has even lost his place yet. This man will start next season. I personally predict Carlo's going to go back to the 4-3-3 and Rodrygo will have that right wing to lose because I think he'll get first crack at it. Now, if we come halfway through the season and he gets dropped for Arda Güler or something, then maybe we can have the transfer talks. But as of right now, he'd be an idiot to want to leave Real Madrid when he's going to be starting for us. Now, as far as PSG and City are concerned, those are the only two clubs that I really think can attract him somewhat. More so Man City, not PSG. I don't think PSG are attractive at all, especially if you're at Real Madrid and you're a starter. What are you going to go to PSG and do? Just win the Copa de France and Ligue 1? And I know that, again, their feelings are hurt. They lost Mbappe. I know Khalifi or whatever the hell their president or director's name is, he probably cried in the shower for like a few hours when Mbappe announced that he was leaving. And then when he saw that Oficial Comunicado, I'm surprised that he's still here on Earth with us. Because that might have been my 13th reason why if I was the PSG president. Not going to lie. So I get why they would want Rodrygo, right? Again, a lot of people, they want to put out speculation that we're going to have to sell somebody, that these players are not going to be able to work together. I've said it time and time again. There are no big egos in this dressing room. You can't have a big ego in a team full of players like this, or else it's not going to work. Now, I know that there's some concern that Mbappe might come in and destabilize what we have going on. I don't think so, though. It's a French core there. It's a Brazilian core. And everybody gets along from what it looks like. Or else the results on the pitch wouldn't be as good as they are. And I think when it comes to Vinicius and Mbappe and Rodrygo, out of those three, yes, Rodrygo is going to suffer from those two being there in terms of goal output, right? But what I think he can capitalize on is being more so that creator, the guy that's getting the assist. Because with Toni Kroos leaving, our midfield next season is not going to really have a creator that's going to be starting on a week-in, week-out basis. I talked about it earlier, but Arda Güler and Brahim Diaz are our only two creative midfielders. Jude is a box-to-box 8. So is Valverde. And then you're going to have probably Tchouaméni playing in that lone 6. Camavinga, he's a DM, and he's great on the ball, right? Camavinga is probably one of the best carriers of the ball in the world right now. When he's on the ball, he just glides. But he can't really pick out a pass like how Toni Kroos can. So we're going to need somebody to kind of maybe step up into that creative kind of role, right? I'm sure that the system's going to be fluid. There might be times when you see Rodrygo on that left, or Vinny on the right, or Mbappe on the left, Rodrygo down the middle, Vinny, like, it's all going to be fluid. The players are going to just be switching in transition and just depending on how the game flow is, because you saw him and Vinny do it many times last season. And that's going to create problems for the defense, because, like, how do you mark players if they just keep switching? If 1 minute he's there, 1 minute he's there. So I think where Rodrygo can really show more of his worth is by him dropping maybe a little bit deeper and picking up that ball and looking for a pass into the final third. Because when you're playing with Mbappe and Vinny, they're going to get their goals. They're going to eat. So now the question is going to be, who's going to be assisting them and providing them with the best opportunities? And I think that's where Rodrygo can stand out in this team, because he's not going to be able to go band for band with them. Like, he's not going to be able to keep up with them scoring-wise. But Rodrygo is a very good player. I think he's on the cusp of being world class. We're talking about Mr. Champions League himself. We're talking about the owner of Man City. You know what they say? If you can't beat them, then join them. And that's what City are kind of doing, right? Every time he plays against Man City, he's bagging a goal. You can put money on it. It's free money at this point. And as far as PSG and City are concerned, as I said, I don't think PSG are that attractive. Yeah, they have the money, and they could maybe put in a good bid for him, right? They could probably offer like $200 million. That's how much I'd want for Rodrygo, even though he's not worth that. But for me, I don't want to sell him. So that's where the talks would probably have to start, if I'm being honest. But Man City, now that is a team that I would be worried about. If they really did have a winger issue, I would be worried about Rodrygo and Man City, for sure. City are arguably the best team in the world. They have arguably the greatest manager. They have a huge budget. They play great football. And they win a lot of trophies. They're the biggest threat to what Madrid have going on, let's be honest. And they're not going anywhere. They're really not. But they have a bunch of wingers. So where would they use Rodrygo? That's why I can't see this deal happening. And again, I don't think Rodrygo would leave Madrid unless he loses his place in the starting 11, which I can't see happening because I back him to bounce back next season. I think he only struggled because, we were kind of playing them centrally, but then put them out wide. We were in like that 4-4-2. I don't really think that he's adapted well to having to be so narrow, right? You see him cook when he's able to be out wide. And I think with all the space that he's going to get next season, because let's be honest, the defense is going to be more concerned about what Mbappe and Vinny are doing. So Rodrygo is going to be left in a lot of 1v1 situations. He should be him and Jude should be the main beneficiaries of Mbappe's presence alongside with Vinny's. And that should cause a lot more opportunities for them to open up. But, as I said, man, City are the only team that I would be nervous about, but they don't need him per se, right? I think he would go there and start. Yes, I think Rodrygo would start at City. But they just signed Savio, the Brazilian kid from Girona. They got Jeremy Doku. They got Phil Foden. Bernardo Silva is still there as well. Jack Grealish. Like, why would they spend over 100 M's to go bring in Rodrygo? Unless Pep really doesn't believe in him. Never know. But it would be a very expensive deal to get done. And as I said, when I talked about PSG being in for Vinny, Rodrygo has a release clause of $1 billion. You want him.